Good morning, I'm Amit Pakaril and let's begin with the top stories of this hour. 3 years passes since the devastating earthquake rocked the nation. Reconstruction remains disappointing due to the government's apathy. Government prohibits strikes on all essential public services, stands stronger against the transport syndicate imposed by businesses. US President Trump and his French counterpart Macron suggest there could be a new agreement on Iran's nuclear program. President Trump skeptical about the deal forced in 2015. And Liverpool defeats AS Roma 5-2 at Anfield in the semi-final first leg of the Champions League. Bayern Munich and Real Madrid to clash in another semi-final first leg tonight. Traditional settlements built up of stones used to be the identity of Gorkha's Parpak region. However, the devastating earthquake that rocked the nation on the 25th of April 2015 turned the district's old residential houses into history. Parpak's cultural peculiarity has now changed following construction of concrete houses in the course of rebuilding. Residents in Parpak have opted for reconstructing their houses using cement, bricks and rods, realizing that the concrete houses stood stronger in the face of the earthquake compared to the traditional ones. This is the reason that there is no old-fashioned houses there. As of now, around 400 concrete houses have already been reconstructed in Parpak. 72 people had lost their lives in Parpak in the April 2015 earthquake, while the tremor and its aftermath destroyed around 3,300 houses in the region. Although the reconstruction works have been initiated across the country, it still painfully sluggish, compelling the victims to live under makeshift shelters, braving untoward weather and living conditions. Government has decided to prohibit strikes in emergency services after transport businesses threatened to stage protest in order to keep their syndicate intact. The meeting of cabinet held yesterday decided to publish the notice of prohibition in the Nepal Gazette itself. This has indicated that the government is ready to stand even stronger against the syndicate imposed in the public transport sector. Based on the Emergency Services Operations Act 2014, strikes have been prohibited in 18 service-related sectors, including passengers and freight vehicles, petroleum products supply and sale, banks, insurance, airline sector, along with telecommunications, hospitals and internal security sectors, among others. The government was compelled to publish the notice in the Gazette after transport businesses threatened to stop operating the vehicles and hinder supply of petroleum products. Despite law prohibiting any activity that affects supply of daily consumable goods and services, hindrances as such used to be imposed by different quarters time and again in the past. This time, however, the government has decided not to step back from its decision, the move that has been widely commended. Consumer rights activists have opined government should take strict action against those who try to disrupt services meant for the public. Let's now move on to national political updates. The government of Province No. 2 has started preparations to welcome Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Janakpur Dham, where Modi is expected to visit during his state visit to Nepal. Chief Minister for Province No. 2 Lal Babu Raut held discussions with ministers along with chiefs of security units and Janakpur sub-metropolis among other concerned units to make sure that the Indian Premier's visit is secure and well organized. Chief Minister Raut said that preparations are ongoing for Modi's visit to Janaki Temple and his scheduled public address at Parabiga ground. Indian Representative Manip Singh Puri has already arrived and is taking part in management for Prime Minister Modi's visit to Janakpur. ACP Vikas Raj Khanal, who is accused of involvement in the smuggling of 33 kg of gold, has been taken into custody. Khanal had been stationed at the District Administration Office, Makwanpur. Meanwhile, DSP Sanjay Raut, who was also summoned for statement in the same case, has been out of contact from the Home Ministry since yesterday. Along with DSP Raut, Sub-Inspector Balkrishna Sanjail and Kajendra Rao had yesterday reached the ministry for statement in this regard. The investigation team is carrying out search operation to find Raut. The government had shouldered responsibility to investigate the case under the leadership of Home Ministry Secretary following several disputes in the case. It was Democracy Day yesterday. The 13th Democracy Day was marked by organizing various programs across the country to celebrate the establishment of democracy through popular movements. And in this contest, we had asked the residents of Chapa, Pokhara and Mahendranagar regarding what they think should be done to make local representatives accountable in democracy. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
Public voice.
देशको हितमा जनताको हितमा
प्रत्यक्ष सरकारका विषयहरुमा अगाडि बढेर जनताका कामहरु चाहिँ उहाँहरुले गर्नुपर्छ।
सबभन्दा पहिले त जनताहरु आफै नै जागरुक हुनुपर्छ।
विकास निर्माण कार्यको निम्ति कुनै बाधक नबनिकिन सरकारले राम्रोसँग काम गर्न सक्यो भने पक्कै पनि जनतालाई लोकतन्त्रको महसुस हुने थियो।
सुशासन, पारदर्शिता र जनताको आशा अपेक्षा अनुसार काम गरेर यो नेपाललाई समृद्ध राष्ट्र बनाउनका लागि भूमिका निर्वाह गर्ने र जनताले त्यसको खबरदारी गर्ने।
It wouldn't come as a surprise that private schools are charging students and parents over-the-top fees under various pretexts. A recent study has revealed that the charges imposed as transportation fares is 140% more than the actual rates. This is a record of the annual income and expenditure of a private school of the capital. The record shows an income of 4.8 million rupees under transportation against 2 million rupees spent for the same. The school makes a 2.8 million rupees benefit out of just transportation fares. Under the government's rule, no business can take profit of over 20%, especially when it comes to a service-based sector like education. However, going by the income and expenditure sheet, the school has been making a profit of around 140%. There are 2,000 private schools in the capital and over 800,000 students, more than half of whom use their schools' vehicles. Schools have been found charging from a minimum of 1,000 to maximum of 5,000 rupees per student as transportation fares. If the average fee is considered 1,500 rupees a month, private schools make a total of over 7 billion rupees out of interest of over 4 billion rupees. While government has allowed 50% discount to students in public vehicles, on the contrary, private schools have been imposing over-the-top charges on students and parents. A single school has a minimum of 3 buses, to some even having 110 buses in operation. According to the Department of Transport Management, schools within Bagmati zone under the previous state structure have been granted permission to operate as many as 30,000 buses. It excludes the number of public and microbuses and vans that schools take on hire for students. Government's attempt to break the syndicate in transport sector has so far been successful to an extent. The question, however, remains whether it would also do something about schools charging students and parents exorbitant transport fares under various pretexts. And it's now time for a segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, why have private schools been charging students high transportation fees? And options are A, prevalence of profit seekers, B, lack of pressure from parents, and C, lack of strict regulation. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. Now the international update. US President Donald Trump and his French counterpart Emmanuel Macron have suggested that there could be a new agreement on Iran's nuclear program. After talks in the US, Mr. Trump, who is skeptical of an accord that was struck in 2015, spoke about doing a much bigger, maybe a deal. Mr. Macron said a new pact must cover Iran's ballistic missile program and its role in the Middle East. Iran warned of severe consequences if the US withdraws from the deal. In 2015, Iran agreed to mothball its nuclear program in return for an easing of economic sanctions on Iran. The US president has been threatening to reject an extension of the Obama-era nuclear pact reached between Tehran and world powers by a 12 May deadline. Macron has been lobbying Trump to stick with the deal, saying that there was no better option. Germany's Chancellor Angela Merkel is due to visit the US on Friday to make a last-minute bid to dissuade Mr. Trump from potentially torpedoing the agreement. Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif was quoted as saying that Tehran would most likely abandon the accord if the U.S. pulled out. President Trump earlier warned Iran against resuming its nuclear program.
Sports news.
Liverpool, inspired by 2 goals by Egyptian Mohamed Salah, took a big step towards the Champions League final with a 5-2 win over AS Roma in their semi-final first leg at Anfield last night. After the thrilling victories, Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp was downbeat, citing the serious injury to Alex Chamberlain. The England midfielder's hopes of heading to the World Cup are in doubt after he suffered what appeared to be a serious injury. The 24-year-old, who joined Liverpool from Arsenal in August, was carried off on a stretcher in the 18th minute after making a sliding tackle on Roma fullback Alexander Kolarov. Liverpool manager Jurgen Klopp said the England international season looked to be over. The 2 late Roma goals, however, will give the Italians, who came back from 4-1 down to beat Barcelona in the previous round, some hope of an upset in the return game next Wednesday. A pair of superbly taken goals from Salah against his former club gave Jurgen Klopp's side a 2-0 lead at half-time, and Liverpool simply ripped Roma apart after the break. A Sadio Mane goal and then 2 Roberto Firmino goals put Liverpool 5-0 up, and Klopp felt comfortable enough to take up Salah, who had been outstanding. Yet Edin Dzeko struck for the visitors in the 81st minute, and 4 minutes later, Diego Berotti converted a penalty to generate some tension for the return in Rome. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich, 5-time European Cup winners, host 12-time champions Real Madrid in a mouth-watering semi-final first leg tonight. Real Madrid coach Zinedine Zidane warned yesterday that Bayern Munich are better than they were last season when the Spaniards beat them en route to the Champions League title. The Spaniards have won back-to-back titles, but the treble-chasing Bavarians are in sensational form ever since manager Jupp Heynckes took over from Carlo Ancelotti in October. Bayern have already secured the Bundesliga title and have reached the German Cup final as well. Heynckes is on a record 12-game winning run in the Champions League, stretching back to 2013 when he won the title with Bayern before retiring. He will leave the club again at the end of the season. He may have become the first coach to lead a team to consecutive Champions League crowns, but Zidane knows he must win it a 3rd time in order to salvage what will otherwise be regarded as a disappointing season for the La Liga side with no silverware. Scoring only 118 runs, Sunrisers Hyderabad defeated defending champions Mumbai Indians by 31 runs, defending the lowest total in the Indian Premier League history. In the match played at the Wakande Stadium, Mumbai last night, Mumbai won the toss and asked Hyderabad to bat first. Sunrisers Hyderabad lost wickets at regular intervals and were bowled out after scoring only 118 runs in 18.4 overs. Skipper Kane Williamson scored 29 runs of 21 balls, while Yusuf Pathan also contributed 29 runs of 33 balls for the Sunrisers. Hardik Pandey, Mayank Markande and Mitchell McClenaghan all picked up 2 wickets each for Mumbai Indians. Chasing a low target of just 119 runs per victory, Mumbai Indians were bowled out after scoring just 87 runs in 18.5 overs. Mumbai lost a 3 quick wickets, including captain Rohit Sharma, who failed to score runs for the team. Sunrisers Hyderabad bowlers Basil Thampi, Rashid Khan, Saqib Al Hassan were instrumental in restricting Mumbai batsmen, and Siddharth Kaul provided a good hand by clinching 3 wickets. Surya Kumar Yadav, who scored 34 runs, and Krunal Pandey, who chipped in 24 runs, were the only Mumbai players to reach double figures. Last night's win was Sunrisers Hyderabad's maiden victory at the Wakande Stadium. Tonight's Indian Premier League match features a clash between Royal Challengers Bangalore and Chennai Super Kings. And that's all for this hour. Keep watching Kantipur TV SD for more news and entertainment. Goodbye for now.